So what is YouTube influencer marketing? I've wanted to do this video for a little while. I'm going to talk about what YouTube influencer marketing is as I see it, and also share with you how to start a movement with your message and attract your soul tribe, your YouTube soul tribe. So rather than thinking about influencer marketing, I'm going to give a definition. I'm going to share my screen of what influencer marketing is first, and then what YouTube influencer marketing is, and how, as the producer of the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, how I support you in going beyond influencer marketing in terms of building your brand or other people's brands with your brand, actually building your brand and having influence over your own soul tribe, having clarity on what you actually want to do in the world. There's many different definitions. People will say, influencer marketing, you can do that on YouTube with your channel and get sponsorships and brand deals, and that's great and fine. Endorse other people's products, great and fine. And you might be looking out there, you might have been looking and thinking, how do you actually get started? What are you going to focus on? How do you approach other influencers? All the things. So let me know where you are on your journey. And if you have a movement inside of you, you have something else that you want to say. People say influencer marketing, micro influencer marketing, and the micro influencer marketing is more around having a smaller tribe. I say YouTube Soul Tribe, having a smaller tribe and getting that to know them and actually having an influence that way. For me, I developed what I call the soul guided influencers way. So I want to share that with you. I actually have a 7-day challenge on YouTube, and it's called 1 week to get your to create your movement marketing media kit for soul guided influencers, meaning soul guided influencers who have their own business or want to create their own business and use their YouTube influencer marketing to not only collaborate with others and form joint vision partnerships, but actually want to make a difference to their soul tribe. So let me share my screen with you and kind of introduce my challenge, and you'll see the challenge around this video. This video itself, I'm going to use it as an intro into that 7-day challenge. It's a completely free challenge, and you'll see it on the SoulLegacyTV YouTube podcast. I call it Spiritual Business Success with me, Iona Meade. And if you don't know me, then click on my YouTube channel. You'll find me. You'll see what I'm actually all about. I'm not going to do a massive intro. If you're watching this in the Soul Legacy Academy, then you'll know me. If you're watching this within the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, then you'll know me. And if you're watching it on the Soul Legacy TV, then you'll get to know me. Subscribe to the channel. So let me share my screen with you and stay on the screen. I'm going to probably do, hang on, let me do this one. And so what I am going to do is share my screen and share what my movement marketing media kit challenge is about. So as a YouTube influencer, and then I'll do it air quotes, YouTube influencer, there's many people, like I say, the definitions I'm going to go into. Our focus on the Soul Legacy TV is to build your own movement, starting a movement. I'm going to share with you how I started my movement, how you can start a movement, how I have taught my students to start a movement. And we're actually going to get you featured on TV, podcasts, radio, summits, and actually write your book. So in my challenge, I give you this template. It's a media kit, and if you don't know what a media kit, I'm going to give you definitions and really give some deep dive teaching. I actually did this teaching again, which you'll find either in the cards on this video after it's gone live. I'm doing it live on the Soul Legacy TV, or in the description. And you can join me. Let me know if you've already gone through that challenge. I do it live on the 3rd week in September. Every single day. So an hour and a half, I'm on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. And the idea is to start this movement and set the intention to actually build your brand on YouTube, build your book, get featured again in the media based on your knowledge and expertise. YouTube influencer marketing can come from a variety of things, and it come from endorsing other people's products and brands, depending on what niche you're in. I like to share. I have a YouTube podcast and a YouTube summit where I do what I call joint vision partnerships. So we share each other's YouTube channel, which I love. And that's kind of an endorsement as well. So there's more substance to it. Building merch, I will have my own merch. There's ways to have that influence. So this is a what I call a movement marketing media kit to have that on your YouTube channel. So we'll focus on your YouTube channel, and we'll actually focus if you've got a book inside of you. So I have 7 days of that challenge, which I'm going to go in depth in the challenge. I won't go through it now, but I'm going to talk about what is movement marketing, media kit, what's an authority platform, what's an author platform, what is an author and authority bio look like. So when you're thinking, oh, you know, being an influencer, I'm not an influencer yet, how do I become a YouTube influencer? I believe that the best way to do that is to actually own your own gifts and position yourself, and you're going to have much more of a connection with your audience on your YouTube channel, and positioning yourself rather than pigeonholing yourself into just walking through other people's brands and sponsorships. And that's just my take on it. I'm going to share through that challenge for the 7 days, and day 5, how to share your spiritual awakening story. People connect and have that influence, and that might being a micro influencer or being a soul guided influencer with who you are. And doing that on YouTube, coming on, a lot of people that I work with don't necessarily want to share their deepest, darkest stuff, their rock bottom, because you think, oh, you know, if I'm a YouTube influencer, I have to be perfect. And I think that's, you know, I don't think it's true. Let me know what you think. So in day 6, we're going to do interviews. That's one of the biggest things that you will see that people do on YouTube, is being interviewed or having other people interview. So for me, my YouTube marketing strategy and starting a movement with my message is more about having conversations and then endorsing other people's products. So yes, we have an affiliate link, and then you can have passive income streams. I suggest creating your own products and then having other people promote them and having that YouTube influence that way. That is what I've done in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. I have a 5-day challenge, and I have a masterclass. I share my spiritual awakening story and how I've done what I've done. And then I have what I call a 5-day fast track movement marketing model. And so I share with you how you can build your YouTube channel around being interviewed, getting features and articles, just positioning yourself as well, rather than, again, just endorsing other people's brands. And so on day 7 of my movement marketing media kit, starting a movement and sharing how to start a movement, is the joint vision partnership pitch template. So people often say, how do I find other influencers on YouTube? With the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, if you are a spiritual business owner, if you are wanting to go into that YouTube influencer marketing space, but doing it in a soul guided influencers way, then I'm here to create a community for soul guided influencers to show up, speak out, and serve deep. So that template is something that I use, taking my book on a media tour. What I want to do is share with you what influencer marketing is. And again, if you have any questions, if you've had a look and you've been looking up what influencer marketing is, and you're like, well, I'm not actually sure, there's tools for YouTube and Google, and there's one of the tools that I use and I share in my 5-day YouTube from scratch challenge, or spiritual YouTubers from scratch challenge. This is keywords everywhere. So the keywords everywhere actually shows me the search volume per month of what people are searching for. And so I've typed in the question, what is influencer marketing? And 5,400 people are searching for that. So it's, you know, there's a lot of people that want to become an influencer, use influencer marketing. And for me, using YouTube as a platform, you naturally become that influencer. However, doing it in a way that feels in alignment with your soul feels really good to me. So this is influencer marketing, is a form of social media marketing involving endorsements and product placements from influencers, peoples and organizations who have a purported expert level of knowledge and social influence in their field. So becoming an influencer, YouTube marketing influencer, or as I say, a soul guided influencer, I'm going to focus on more of that, being sharing your knowledge and being an expert in your field and having that social influence. And I don't mean going out there on all of the social platforms. I mean using YouTube as that primarily way as your movement marketing strategy. So you've got influencer agencies, people searching in social media influencer type of influence. You might have searched some of these and thought, what are the answers to your questions? Let me know if you found something that feels substantial. Again, I'm going to go into a background. I'm going to go beyond, oh, well, this is influencer marketing. This is what it is. This is an intro into a whole week of training and teaching. And then I have a Q&A as well. So again, I do this live on the third week in September every single year. So I've done this challenge before. I first did it in, I believe it was February 2021, and I did it for my co-authors and my students, and I've worked in the back end to get my book to #1 on Amazon and really hone in how I want to have my influence with my YouTube summit, the Spiritual Awakening annual YouTube summit, talking about spiritual awakening, having my my journal, having my own merch, having my own notebook for my students. And I think that for me, using the YouTube platform, people look at you in a certain way and they see you as that influencer, even if you don't see yourself. I never wanted to build a brand and say, oh, I'm an influencer. And I don't see myself as a YouTube marketing influencer. I see myself as a soul guided influencer, going beyond that list building, going beyond that product placement and endorsements in that way. So what do influencers actually do? This is a question that is on Google, and I wanted to again set the stage for the week, and then I'm going to share my mind map. So it says influencers in social media are people who have built a reputation for their knowledge and expertise on a specific topic. And that's where I want to go. Not only building your area of expertise on a specific topic, but creating a book around it, creating a coaching program around it, creating a YouTube podcast around it, creating a summit if you want to, if you've ever heard of what a summit is, gathering guest speakers, getting featured yourself. But we do it on YouTube. So you can check out the SoulLegacyTV YouTube podcast and the channel of how I actually lay out my channel and how I've started my YouTube channel from scratch, so that I can share with you, this is what you do on the ground level. I actually first started YouTube with 2 other different channels. One for my, it was called the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event. I called it a Dive Social Summit for short, meaning on the socials. I wanted to be on all of the socials. Now I'm like, it's not a good strategy. More so, it is a good strategy in terms of having conversations, but more so the emphasis is on creating a YouTube channel and having that be the brand that's on the socials, which is what I did, but not what I actually said. So I had 49 soul speakers doing 20-minute Google Hangouts back then. It actually ended up on interviews on YouTube, but I wasn't building the YouTube channel. It was more in the Google and the Google Hangouts and having conversations. And I did that for 49 days straight. And I had one of my guests say, Iona Meade, you're creating a movement. And I was like, I don't even know what a movement is. So that's how I started my movement. And I want to share with you how you can start your movement. And then I've done another interview series and I've been featured. So my knowledge and my expertise on a specific topic is now on spiritual awakening. So I have my co-author book series on spiritual awakening. I have my YouTube podcast on spiritual awakening. I have my masterclass on my spiritual awakening journey. I have the Soul Legacy Journal on spiritual awakening, because that's just where I started. And having that, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, we all have a common goal of going through our spiritual ascension journey and alchemizing our gifts. So your area of expertise and your knowledge on a specific topic is where I want to actually take that YouTube influencer marketing strategy. So to continue on, it says they make regular posts about that topic on their preferred social media channels and generate large followings of enthusiastic, engaged people who pay close attention to their views. And so for me, I built the Spiritual Businesswoman Network before the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, before I came on this platform and wanted to really focus on it. We did it on Facebook with my co-producer back then. And we grew the group to 1.2K in 12 weeks, which was amazing. We had amazing women in there who are still, some of them are my co-authors, and we're in contact. And it was just not only for the influencer marketing in terms of me having an influence, and my co-producer at the time, we all had an influence on each other and a conversation. It was a common thing. And when we talk about movement marketing, I'll share with you the definition of what that is. So combining starting a movement with your YouTube influencer marketing strategy, you'll see the benefits of it. It's just absolutely amazing. So who's the biggest influencer? How do you get paid as an influencer? I'm not really interested in all of those things. I want to focus on building that, your knowledge and your expertise and your influence in that way. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me see what you can see. So let me know if that actually does make sense. So YouTube influencer marketing. There's lots of things out there. Influencer marketing. There's YouTube. I am going to have the Soul Legacy TV press, YouTube, public and publish YouTube promotions agency. So I will be promoting my students' books and helping you actually get out there. YouTube influencer marketing. It says, why is YouTube good for influencer marketing? With the right audience, YouTube influencers can create effective direct response ads and include promo codes and a unique link to your site and drive their audience to purchase. Part of my 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit for soul guided influencers is actually creating a plan for YouTube. And there's 4 stages of getting yourself out there on YouTube. The last stage is actually creating YouTube videos. One of the stages is being interviewed, and another one of the stages is doing YouTube ads. If you've never done YouTube ads, it's an amazing way to actually reach your audience. So we're going to talk about that. And I talk about that in my 5-day challenge. These campaigns capitalize on all branding work you've already done and push people across the finish line. So let me know what you're thinking with your YouTube. How does it work? You might have so many questions, and there's a lot of people answering those questions. So I'm going to try and answer as well. So I want to do this I'm going to do an intro. Let me make that a little bit bigger and see what you can see. I'm going to do an introduction into my YouTube. Let me just take that banner off there. My 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit. I'm going to give you teachings and templates, again, for soul guided influencer, and aligning your movement, your message, and your money over the next 12 months. So again, you will see on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube channel that there are 7 days for this teaching. So, and then you can pace yourself and engage in there. And I will come back and see any comments. If you're watching in the community, then you can come along and join me and get your questions answered. Before I go into the introduction, and again, these days, let me go back. The days are going to be on separate videos. So I'm not going to cover those in this video. I'm going to come to that. And I ended up creating this video as an intro because I go really, really in depth in all of those 7 days. And I wanted to save that for a separate. So you will see day 1. What I am going to cover is the intro in just a second. Before I do cover the intro, I want to say again, with my movement and my YouTube influencer marketing strategy and how to start a movement was through co-authoring through books. And so YouTube influencer marketing becomes easier when you don't try and do it alone. Again, I have always been someone that's connected different people, and I kind of I'm at the central hub for other people connecting. I love that. I love creating community. And so I've been a co-author. I'm a 4th-time #1 best-selling author. And my first book that I was part of was Empowered Women of Social Media. And so that was in 2014, I believe, late 2014. And there were 44 women, and we got to see and explain the power of social media. I shared my chapter of the book called Rising Above Adversity, and it really resonated. And then I did my summit, and so that book was just everywhere. That was on the social media, basically the social media platforms, and that's when I got to see the power of social media marketing, influencer marketing, becoming having more of that influence by positioning yourself as an author, even as a co-author. And so your knowledge and area of expertise doesn't have to be in your own written book. And if you've written your own book, then great. If you want to write your own book, then I'll share with you how I've written mine and how I can support you. The second one, as I became a #1 bestselling co-author, is 365 soulful messages, the right guidance at the right time. And I shared it's time to turn your wounds into wisdom. And so there was 200 co-authors in that book, and it was everywhere. So we had that influence based on just having that impact of doing things together, and endorsing each other rather than just endorsing a random product. And so we went out and we got featured. I'm still connected to people from the co-author book series and interviewed each other. And then this one was the last co-author book series that I was part of. I actually helped to get to #1 on Amazon. They'd launched it, Brenda Pierce and Dr. Sue Dank. And I actually interviewed both Brenda Pierce and Dr. Sue years ago when I did my 49 Soul Speaker Summit and worked with them and did that joint vision partnership. Brenda actually interviewed me. I'm going to share more about that. Years ago. So when you are connecting and you're using your platform, wherever it is, whether it's YouTube, and becoming an influencer, it's an amazing way to build relationships again, and not doing things. Some people build relationships with brands and endorse a certain brand, but when you endorse and form joint vision, I call them joint vision partnerships. In the industry, they call them joint venture partnerships. When you form them, I actually paid 2K to learn how to do joint venture partnerships, right? So when you do that, you've got something that lasts a lifetime, and it's positioning your area of expertise on your YouTube channel, rather than using the influencer marketing that says, oh, well, this is that brand, and you're not really positioning yourself, you're just positioning that brand and having conversations and having influence. And so I share, it's called The Secret Child, Life After Loss. So I share the story of actually my son's passing. So I dedicate my work to my son. Starting a movement and having a movement, and having a movement marketing strategy for me, as the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy, that's where, again, my spiritual awakening, going through the dark night of the soul, it started. It's more than just brand endorsements, right? It's actually sharing your spiritual awakening story and really making a difference with your YouTube Soul Tribe. I love it. And I have my co-author book series is not on there, but it will be. And if you want to be a co-author and join me on this journey, then let me know. Give me a comment. Email submissions@soullegacyacademy.com. So this is a notebook. It's a spiral notebook. This is the one that's actually on Amazon. It's a blank notebook, and it says, "Come spiritual journal with me at SoulLegacyTV." I don't know if you can see that. And then this is a lined notebook. And so part of my movement, creating a movement, is about going through the dark night of the soul, but finding that more freedom in every single area of your life. And so I break that down, and you'll see on my Amazon page, if you want to go and have a look, I would type in Iona Meade and I should come up. How I bring my YouTube influencer marketing and I bring it into Amazon is doing my daily journal on the 7, I call them the 7 freedoms. It's sharing how you can go through your awakening, how I went through my awakening. I built a vision board. I built a spiritual vision board that included having freedom in every area of my life, how I wanted to contribute, and being a YouTube influencer, soul guided influencer, and how I wanted to have my finances, financial freedom. I also wanted my health freedom and my emotional freedom and my environmental freedom and my relationship freedom and spiritual freedom. And so every single day on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, that's what I share. That's how I wanted to have that influence. So once you've decided, okay, I want to explore YouTube influencer marketing in a slightly different way than what's traditionally out there, more focusing on the list building, more focusing on just putting this brand in front of people or what have you, depending on what niche you're in. It goes in depth. It becomes a lifestyle. It becomes a movement because you're living it, eating it, breathing it, and sleeping it. And so my book also went to #1 on Amazon. I figured this stuff out. And it's called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul-guided influencer's compass to leveraging your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. Hence, me actually doing this video on YouTube influencer marketing, because there's a contrast for me. The soul-guided influencer's way, I share 11 principles in the book that are the soul guided influencers way, talking about building those joint vision partnerships and you know, creating your playlist and going live consistently and doing all the things. So that is now on pre-order at the time of me sharing this, which is September 2022. And so I launch it on the 6th of May on my son's birthday. So I actually gave myself a year to write my book, and I said I'm going to take it on a book tour. So while I do these videos, and you can have a free chapter of my book, and there's a spiritual YouTubers masterclass that I invite you to come to on Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. And there's the community. I have a monthly call for my spiritual biz YouTubers for the network to co-create, collaborate, and cross-promote. All of that is inside my book, and the pre-order of the book, you can download a free chapter, and then you can come and get coaching with me. I have a 4-hour coaching on starting a movement with your message and actually releasing a #1 best-selling book. So that's where my YouTube influencer marketing journey actually started, how I became a #1 best-selling author, and on Amazon, in Kindle, in 7 categories, in 7 days, without actually writing my book. So you can pre-order it, but it doesn't launch. I haven't actually written it. For me, that influence, and I have book niche marketing videos on YouTube based around my book. And so this is going to be in the book as well. So if you're reading the book, if you read the book, then fantastic. So let me go into this mind map. I'm just going to have a sip of water. I want to give you an intro into this. Oh, let me see. Actually, I didn't actually click out any of those. So that was how becoming a best-selling author. That's part of my movement. That's part of my influence. When you leave a legacy as part of being a YouTube influencer, it's a beautiful, beautiful journey, because you get to have that influence that's a little bit deeper. So people type into Google how to become a #1 best-selling author, and on there's 8 things that somebody suggested. Decide which bestseller list that you want to be on. We absolutely do that. I can share with you how to do that. If you come to the masterclass, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers masterclass, then I'll share more with you. I'm not going to share that on here. But there is how I got my book to #1 bestseller. I had to decide what list I wanted to be on for the different, you may or may not know, Amazon has different stores. That might sound like quite basic information. However, when you want to become a #1 bestseller, you need to know which list and which Amazon store. And again, in my 5-day YouTube from scratch, spiritual YouTubers from scratch challenge, a 5-day fast track movement marketing model, I share that. So you can have a free preview of that at the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. It's his 5-day challenge. I'll share that with you. I go into depth, and I actually share that on the YouTube channel as well, how I became #1 bestselling author without writing my book and deciding. And it started with deciding the right bestseller list to be on, because depending on whether you know, you'll know how many sales that you need to make on that day to become a #1 bestselling author. Write an amazing book. So I gave myself a year to actually write it, and this is part of that. So you might be reading the book depending on when you're watching this, but this is where it started. Write an amazing book, living into your book, build an author platform. A lot of people don't know, as part of their movement, how to start a movement with your message and using that strategy, and how to be a YouTube influencer. You can be a YouTube influencer, a soul guided YouTube influencer, and using that marketing by writing your book as well, and actually building your author platform, but doing it on YouTube. And you'll see again examples of that and the benefits of that. So market your book ASAP, right? And so a lot of people don't know how to market their book, but if you're going to be a YouTube influencer and use a marketing strategy that feels aligned, for me, with your soul, you know, promoting your own book is just beautiful. It does actually position yourself. Decide between traditional or self-publishing. I'm talking about self-publishing on Amazon. Build a launch team. I actually thought that it had to be this grandiose thing, and I actually did my launch team via text message, and it worked. And so create a strong launch plan. Again, I thought, oh gosh, this has to be, and I did it in 7 days, become a best-selling author. So I want to share with you how to start a movement with your message, and how becoming a YouTube influencer, meaning that you can get your own message out and be a soul-guided YouTube influencer. So this book is called Flight of a Butterfly, and it's by one of my soul sisters called Lindsay Austin. She's a beautiful soul. She says it's a true story of overcoming adversity and reaching empowerment. Now, I believe that Lindsay has a movement inside of her to actually really impact a lot of people. Excuse me. Everywhere she goes, every time she speaks, people go, I can feel your energy. She's been through a lot. And she basically shares multiple spiritual awakenings throughout her journey, throughout her childhood. I won't ruin the book, but I actually purchased this book. Let me see if I can find it without dropping everything. I actually purchased Lindsay's book. Hang on, let me just see. I purchased Lindsay's book. It was September, I believe, September 2021. I believe. It's absolutely an amazing book. So there's Lindsay at the back. It's phenomenal. And I was going on a road trip. Oh, I want to do this one. I was going on a road trip, and I purchased this book. Lindsay became part of the Facebook group for the Spiritual Businesswoman Network. She didn't end up getting on the calls because times and time zones, whatever. She's in the UK. Busy lady doing a lot of different things, amazing things. And so overcoming adversity for Lindsay, she threw herself into fitness and body confidence and different things, and overcoming trauma. It is amazing. So I left, I might actually click onto the Amazon page. I will in a second. But Lindsay published her book during the pandemic. You can see the publication date was the 11th of November 2020, and Lindsay has shared with me how I think there's a couple of coaches doing different things for her book and getting it on Amazon. She got 5-star ratings, amazing. And I said, Lindsay, I've just got my book to #1, and I'd love to help you get your book to #1 best-selling status. And we did. Again, gave her the strategy that I used via text message, via just messages. And within 7 days, Lindsay actually hit #1 in 9 categories. And I laugh because I hit #1 in 7. So depending on which bestseller list that you choose, which I helped her, I got on and coached her, and she's absolutely fine with me sharing that. And my Fiverr guy put the #1 best-selling sticker, and quite rightly so. So we relaunched it on the 14th of June 2022. I didn't know Lindsay when she'd written the book. So if you have a book inside of you that you want to get to #1 best-selling status because it hasn't, then absolutely, let me know. Let me know. Come to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass. Happens live on the last Monday of the month at 3 p.m. UK time, and I have private Q&A, and I actually have some coaching, so I'll share. So Lindsay actually does share, you know, about her childhood, different things, lessons learned, all the things. It's a really, really great book. Thoughts of Suicide, Wedding Bells, Ibiza Baby, New Relationship, Motherhood, a lot. Just it really is amazing. So I actually did a review, and I actually helped Lindsay with her Amazon Author Central page. A lot of people don't know to put an Amazon Author Central page. So you putting it, bringing YouTube influencer marketing and starting a movement, you can put it on the platform of Amazon that can support your book. So
hey, beautiful people. So
that's, video brings everything alive. Let me see if I can go back to actually where I left a review for Lindsay. That is my review, the 9th of September 2021. And so Lindsay's stories actually really resonated with my background, not exactly I'd been through, but some of my friends had been through what Lindsay had been through. It's absolutely amazing. It's only a short book. It's an amazing read. And I keep saying to Lindsay, I need to read it again. I need to read it again. So it's really nice to now know Lindsay. As a result of going through a book, Lindsay does speaking, does different things in coaching. So go and check her out and check out the book. And so I wanted to share that with you purely because if you do have that book inside of you as part of your YouTube influencer marketing, it's going to serve you really well. So this is my book. Again, I've got my book to #1 on Amazon. And I plan to do my YouTube influencer marketing through the book, like videos. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to read what is actually in this book. And it says, a soul-guided influencer's compass to leverage your light work and lifestyle on YouTube, not just promote other brands, leverage your own light work and lifestyle on YouTube. If you have something to give, something to be in service and give that value, as if you look up Lindsay, you'll see her website, you'll see different things that she has going on. She has a program coming up as well. So this book has been designed to act as a way to simply align your message, your movement, and your money. The book was written by me, Iona Meade, producer of the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. And it's a perfect guide to start a YouTube channel, podcast, and also acts as a spiritual business success planner as you launch, lead, and leave your soul legacy with ease, grace, and flow. That's kind of like my mantra. So when you're doing your YouTube influencer marketing strategy and you're starting a movement with your message, knowing how to start a movement with your message is about leading and doing it in the way that you do it. And so get ready to structure the back end of your spiritual business model. A lot of YouTube influencers don't know how to monetize their channel beyond doing the brand deals, and people that gets tired. I believe it gets old fast, and it gets tired putting all the sponsorships, and people resonate with it, but to a certain degree. I mean, there's people that do the YouTube influencer and do amazing. I'm not saying that, but for me, I wanted to do something different. So I wanted to build the back end of my spiritual business model, and I teach my students how to do the same. So you can start getting featured and find fellow soul-guided influencers and JV interviews. Again, it's not joint venture partnerships all about list building and affiliate marketing. It's about joint vision partnerships and just really giving that value, right? And joint vision partnerships is a really big thing in the industry. You'll see people say, hey, my friend is blah, blah, and they'll email you. When you have that vision, when you're clear on your vision, and I have my Financial Freedom Vision Board Challenge for families, it's a 7-day challenge for spiritual YouTubers. This is a YouTube challenge, and I have another YouTube challenge. I wanted to do it like that. I wanted to use my YouTube influencer platform as a way. That's how I started it out from scratch. And I wanted to start it in a way that is going to give that value. And so getting featured on podcasts, radio, summits, YouTube, live streams, and online collabs, and getting featured on TV, all the things, writing your articles, all the things. And so two of my students, previous students, had said, so this is that influence when you're sharing your knowledge and your area of expertise, and you can influence somebody else's lifestyle, influence how they're showing up. I say show up, speak out, and serve deep. And so my daily vlogs is about freedom, the vision that you have for freedom, your value of freedom, and your vibration of freedom. And I call it intentional living. And again, all the areas to leverage your light work and your lifestyle. And part of that is contribution, again, health, emotions, environment, relationships, spirituality, and financial freedom. And so my students got results, really great results. You'll see some testimonials on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. But this past student says, this is perfect for self-study. So we use our YouTube channel and YouTube influencer marketing to generate passive income streams. So a book is a passive income stream. And inside your book, I teach you to do a 5-day challenge, a self-study challenge, and it also have live rounds so that you can engage with the audience and take your YouTube influencer marketing strategy to the next level by actually being there and showing up for your YouTube Soul Tribe, as well as reaching people all over the world who can work with you so they can watch your videos, watch your self-study course, but also feel engaged with you. You're really leading them. So this is perfect for self-study. I'm able to take my time and set up everything. I never knew I needed to make my media kit the best it can be for my unique vision. So if you have a vision to really make a difference in the world and you want to use YouTube influencer marketing, then like you're in the right place. Hopefully this is making sense. Again, I ask any questions, and you know, if you have any aha moments, you want to take notes. A lot of my students just take loads of notes and they go, Iona, when you said this and when you said that, and I'm like, I can't remember what I said. I'm just like speaking into it. And so Tori Jo says, I love the Soul Legacy Academy and all Iona Meade teachers. I would be lost without this information. So the next testimonial from Makers, she says, mind blowing. What an amazing journey this course was. From starting with absolutely no idea of where to even to begin to having a firm framework to follow. And I'm so excited because I can build it right the first time and save myself so much time and frustration. Even better, I can come back again and again to review and improve some more. Thank you so much. So you can have a free preview to that challenge, and it is a 5-day self-study YouTube challenge, and it is being created at the core and base of my book. And so my YouTube, when I'm going out and I'm getting featured as part of my YouTube influencer marketing, I can say, 1, go grab a book on Amazon. 2, come to the masterclass. It happens live on the last Monday of the month. And 3, go through these 5 days. You literally go through the 5 days. Anytime anybody's attracted to me, they get their own 5-day journey, and you get this. This journey is an intro into my movement marketing media kit, which is a 7-day journey, and I don't have to be there. I am there live, and I do have an upgraders Q&A. And if you go through that 5-day challenge and you leave a review, I'll actually gift you the upgrade to this challenge, to the 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit for soul guided influencers. So everything that I do is connected. So I'm doing my thing, sharing my thing, and so hopefully it's making sense. So the challenge again is called YouTube from Scratch for Spiritual YouTubers, a soul guided influencers 5-day fast track movement marketing model. You can now take my proven, practically free soul path of least resistance and go from spiritual awakening to spiritual alchemy. And you'll find that on the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. So I love, let me see, did I actually, no, I don't think I did. Hang on. Or maybe I did it on here. So part of that influence, I don't even love camera, and I never really loved creating videos. And yesterday, I'm like, I wanted to create my day 1. And at the time, there was a 9-hour live stream streaming out the Queen of England, her funeral, she passed, and her funeral. And I was like, I watched it, a lot of it, and I was like, I just didn't feel to do my movement marketing day one, and I thought, okay, and I was doing a little bit of research, and I wanted to do this video prior to that. So you'll see that the rest of the series after this. All right. So part of my movement marketing media kit and starting a movement and how to start a movement and using that YouTube influencer marketing strategy is taking my book on a book tour. So this is a screenshot of the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. Again, the YouTube podcast, Soul Legacy TV. SBYN is the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network free monthly call. That is part of my influence. That was part of it. It's a beautiful way to actually have a conversation with like-minded individuals, I say, who also want to be soul-guided influencers. So do come and sign up for the call. It happens on the first Monday of the month. So whenever you are watching this, if you go to the SoulLegacyAcademy.com, you'll see that and you can schedule in for the next call. I've had students, members actually schedule in for an entire year and say, I don't want to miss this. That was when I was on Facebook. Now I'm having the Spiritual Businesswoman Network, and now I have the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network for soul-guided influencers. So I have the masterclass, I have the 5-day challenge, 12-week bootcamp where you can become a co-author and share your spiritual awakening story. Would love that. And then I have the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit and my book tour, my book and media tour. And so on my book and media tour, as part of this movement marketing media kit for soul-guided influencers, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm using. And every single year for 7 seasons, this is the first season, of the Soul Legacy TV, YouTube podcast and summit, the Soul Legacy movement, I call it. Every year I'm going to come back and update and let you know where I'm at. And, you know, hopefully you'll come and you'll see, oh, this is where she started from. Oh my gosh, I want to see my journey over the next 7 years. So I share, here's my story, and this might change, how I went from my rock bottom, homeless, bankrupt, divorced single mother, to work from home grandmother. I am a grandmother. Hitting #1 best-selling author on Amazon in 7 categories again in 7 days, and manifesting online spiritual business success by mentoring millions over the next 7 years. That was just the way that I wanted to go. So I'm talking about YouTube influencer marketing in that sense. So again, this is the Soul Legacy TV. I'm actually logged in. You can log in. So this is the preview for the challenge. This is the masterclass bonuses and the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. And that is the YouTube summit. And then we have the bootcamp. There's other courses on there that are hidden and that you won't see. I have a mastermind, I have all the things. So if you want to come into my world, the next step is the masterclass. And the step after that is to actually build your YouTube influencer marketing strategy with the 5-day challenge. All right, so let me give you, let me know how you found it. Let me know if it is making sense to you. Let me give you an intro into this, and then I'm going to do day 1 of the Movement Marketing Media Kit Challenge. The last time I did this, I just flowed. I had it was on Zoom, and we streamed out into the Facebook group, and I had my co-authors in there. This time I wanted to do this on the YouTube channel and actually just really focus and dive deep on the teaching, because I talk fast. I usually have quite a lot to say. So I say, welcome to the 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit. Again, templates. You have the template. It'll be around here somewhere for soul-guided influencers. So let me make that smaller so you can see it. So again, this is the template. And so the bio I talk about. So again, Iona Meade is my name, host of the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast and YouTube Summit, the Soul Legacy Movement, and founder of the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. Everything I do has soul in it. And so that's why I decided to create the Soul Guided Influencers way. So my bio, I say, I feel blessed to teach spiritual biz YouTubers to create their high-paying 120 soul client funnel formula using their author, which is your book, authority, which is YouTube channel, media, platform with video. We focus on aligning their movement, message, and money so they can launch, lead, and leave their soul legacy with ease, grace, and flow. And #1 bestselling author, blah, blah, blah. So you'll see that I will give examples throughout the week of people that have come to me because I've got the YouTube channel, and how people use agencies to create a one-page media kit, and how you can use this template, and how it doesn't have to be really hard. Using a YouTube influencer marketing strategy doesn't have to be hard, and you don't have to start with just endorsing everybody else's brand. So what is a media kit and who uses them? Lisa Nichols uses a media kit. That influence and creating an influence around your brand is just absolutely amazing. So these are images of media kits, examples. If you just type in Google media kit, which I'll do now, you'll see, and I actually bought one. I can't remember which one I bought. I think it might have been that one. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. So I bought that influencer media kit, right? Let's see what this one says. An influencer. This is on Etsy, right? 2022 influencer media kit template, one page, social media and Instagram influencer. So you're supposed to have fully editable, so many of a following, so really being an influencer, already having a following, right? Get paid to work with your favorite brands, and that's absolutely fine. I didn't, and so the more following that you get, then the more brand deals. That's the idea, right? And so brands will reach out to you, and you'll reach out to brands. And I wanted to go beyond that. Of what is a media kit. A media kit is a package of information assembled by a company to provide basic information about itself to reporters. And so because we're focusing on YouTube and Amazon, naturally positioning yourself as a #1 bestselling author just takes out the need to have a media, a YouTube influencer marketing media kit that has all the bells and whistles, and means you have to have a really big platform. And so there's not a lot to it. So there are free ones on Canva as well. I don't have that open. So what is an influencer's media kit? An influencer's media kit is like a portfolio, a resume, a digital business card rolled into one. And so with the 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit for soul guided influencers, that is what we actually create. A really engage. I set you this challenge and I walk you through it. And so by the end of it, you'll have a meaty, substantial media kit to start your movement, right? And you'll know how to start your movement, and you'll be clear on how you can position yourself and not feel like a fraud, and actually feel like, I do have value beyond just a brand. So a lot of brands, obviously, when you YouTube influencer or you're using influencer marketing, that relies on already of building a brand. It's catch when it already having a brand. So what is a media kit? So we've done that. Okay, I'm just seeing what else is out there. So yeah, just a few bucks to get templates and things. And I do have a look at other people's templates, kit for Instagram, blah blah blah. Right? Have a look and see. Ours is different in the sense of creating one that is promoting your YouTube channel, YouTube influencer, and also aligning that with your movement, all right, and your readers, rather than other people's brands. So I actually went on a challenge called Be Seen on TV, and they have a PR agency as well. I believe that they've sold a little bit of some of their agency, and so in 2020, I went on this Be Seen on TV challenge, and it was being seen in the media, being actually seen on TV. I think it's just called Be Seen now. But I wanted to be seen on TV, and I wanted to take my book on a book tour. I wanted to take my co-author book series on a book tour. And so I launched my co-author book series, and I was like, okay, it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. And I was like, I need firmer foundations to actually, get featured in the media and have something substantial. So I launched my own book, and I will, take it on a book tour and a media tour. And depending on when you're watching this is how far I've got. But I will come back next year, next September, September 2023 and update you on what I've done throughout this year. So I want to make this a practical thing. So I'm holding myself accountable and putting my feet to the fire. And so again, I grew with my co-producer at the time, SBWN, which was the Spiritual Business Woman Network, to 1.2k members on Facebook in 12 weeks. Versus now the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network in 2022, and starting this season with this is like the premise of me building the season 1 of the Spiritual Awakening annual YouTube summit. So my YouTube summit goes from October through to April. So on the 2 middle Wednesdays of the month, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. I have an interview series on spiritual awakening. And so, excuse me, I'm leading with that, leading with my book and leading with the co-author book series, excuse me, and being featured on that in the media and talking about spiritual awakening. So who uses the media kit? A lot of people. Lisa Nichols, building an author platform. You know, if you've got a book, you're positioning yourself as an author, right? So you New York Times bestselling author. I actually have, this is a different version, a different cover of Lisa Nichols, No Matter What. And I actually got this book. My ex actually got me this book. He watched a video, probably on YouTube, with Lisa Nichols and Steve Harvey. And Lisa Nichols mentioned her book years and years and years, because she doesn't even look like that anymore, years and years and years after. And he's like, oh my gosh, I've got to get you the book. And so it came from Amazon. She says, 9 steps to living a life you want. No matter what, you can overcome every obstacle. So I haven't finished reading it, but that, just positioning yourself, Stephen Covey, New York Times bestselling author, and Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul series, people endorsing. And obviously, if you don't know Lisa Nichols, she was propelled to even more greatness through featuring in The Secret movie. So I haven't read all of her books. However, in the Chicken Soup for the Soul, the African American soul, it works, right? So this is not me just saying, oh, well, start a movement with your message, or be a YouTube influencer. I'll share with you Lisa Nichols' channel. So is it worth, Lisa Nichols has motivating the masses, but still writing a book. I love her pictures. I love inspire your audience. Lisa was featured in talks at Google, Oprah Winfrey, The Secret, Dr. Phil, The Today Show, Steve Harvey, Essence Show, Wendy Williams, Oprah Magazine, Larry King, Extra, CNN, Fox News, NBC, Upscale Magazine. So the movement marketing media kit and being a YouTube influencer, I will share with you how to, not the specifics on how to get featured, but why getting featured, and positioning yourself. If you don't, that movement kind of falls a little bit flat. So I will be being featured in different places, and as I leave my footsteps, footprints, I'll share even more. CEO of Motivating the Masses, expert keynote speaker, as seen on NBC, blah blah blah, right? And so Lisa Nichols, obviously, she'll have her bio, testimonials. See, I've just shared testimonials, building it. You know, there's success leaves clues. Right, so keynotes and trainings, you decide how you want to influence. So again, that YouTube influencer marketing based on your area of expertise, your knowledge, and influencing in that way. Let me know if you've heard of Lisa Nichols and if you've been influenced by her in any way. I've had students who have worked with Lisa Nichols. So she's personal development, abundance 365, create your best life ever, speaker development training, power speaking for impact and influence, diversity training, team building, building bridges to unlock human potential, results, impact, book Lisa, request an interview. Let's click that. So booking Lisa, have Lisa to speak at your event, downloads Lisa's speaker kit here. So that's where I took that screenshot, right? Let's go here back. So if you're not positioning yourself, I think I got to the end of that, then you kind of fall short. So request interview. If you know of Lisa Nichols, or just typing in Lisa Nichols interviews, she's been interviewed a lot. So having your YouTube channel and your author and your authority platform and starting a movement with your message, which Lisa Nichols has done, it needs the back end done as well. So Lisa Nichols speaking request. Provide information, provide your website. So having people and approaching other influencers in the marketing, soul guided influencers from YouTube, wherever, but YouTube, Lisa Nichols has a YouTube channel, right? Then you have to put your own details, your website, right? Your information, right? When you're going to have your event, describing your event, being really clear, and whether it's Lisa Nichols or somebody else, but this is how you approach other influencers and people looking at what you're doing. It's like a catch-22 where, you know, you want to be a YouTube influencer and use that marketing strategy and create a movement with your message. You're more likely to get that attention if you're a #1 best-selling author, I'm just saying, and you've actually created a site where you position yourself and you create an event. Please provide the length for the time you'd like Lisa to speak, and what would you like your attendees to take away. So you don't always have to be that speaker. You can get other people, so that's what I do as well. Please describe your audience, the demographic, the region, the psychographic profile. I teach and the age. I teach you in the Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch Challenge and in the 5-day challenge about your STAP, and in my bootcamp, the Soul Legacy Launch Blueprint, Author and Authority Program and Mastermind, about your STAP. And it's an ideal client profile. People say, I say STAP is your soul tribe, avatar persona, your YouTube soul tribe. You've got to be really clear, because you're going to then endorse someone or share their audience, or they're going to endorse you to their audience. It's a beautiful way. What's your speaking budget range? Is this your first time hosting an event? If no, how many attendees have you had at the last event? How many attendees do you projected to come? And please describe your marketing plan to fill the event. Are you selling products or programs at the event? Will we be able to sell our products and programs at the event? So when you do the influencer marketing, it's a way to endorse each other and create what I call joint vision partnerships. So it's used, a media kit is used by a lot of people in the industry. And so this is Lisa Nichols on the Lisa Nichols Show, right? So she's got a playlist on her videos. So, you know, if Lisa Nichols at the state and the caliber that she is, you know, she's been on The Secret and all the things. If Lisa Nichols believes actually YouTube is a platform that, you know, actually creating the videos, actually writing the books, doing all the things is worth it, then hopefully you'll see that it is actually worth it. So why you need money to support a support group, and the value technique, all the things. So she's done a lot of videos over time and then put them in a playlist, right? So there's a lot in here, and it's still going, 100 over 100. That's a lot of videos, and it's a lot of time. 198 videos. I love it. So you can see that Lisa Nichols, her brand, her thumbnails have changed over time. She's changed and evolved with her. So YouTube influencer marketing, the Fearless Speaker Workshop series, love that. I haven't seen that, so I don't know when that's happening or where that's happening, but that's amazing. So who uses that movement marketing media kit? Hang on. Lisa Nichols and other people as well. Okay, let me just go back. Let me just make this go in. So that is what I wanted to share on here. I think I've covered it. Hang on. Also, Lisa Nichols uses articles as well, writing articles. if you typed in Lisa Nichols articles, you would see that's having YouTube as your main influencing platform, but noting that articles, YouTube interviews. So I've typed in Lisa Nichols interviews as well. And you know, she's out there. So that is what I teach with the Movement Marketing Media Kit Challenge. And so let me just go to this one. What is movement marketing? And this is the last thing that I'm gonna, or the last teachings that I'm gonna share before we actually dive into the 1 week to create your own movement marketing media kit. All right, so what is movement marketing? So movement marketing, you could say, what do you mean by movement marketing? What is a movement in business? And how do you create movement marketing? And what is social media marketing? All the things. It's kind of get the idea. Hopefully you'll get the idea of how to start a movement with your message and how to become a YouTube influencer, a soul-guided YouTube influencer, as I say. And so the definition of movement marketing is a cultural movement. It's a marketing model that begins with an idea, a rising culture. Strawberry Frog is one of the examples that use this. Let me just click onto Strawberry Frog. Hang on. I think I have the link here. So we've got Wikipedia. So the Strawberry Frog has this little bit of a definition. And this is why I wanted to back up and create this before I actually dive into day one of what is a movement marketing media kit, an author platform, an authority platform, and sharing your spiritual awakening story and choosing your article and interview topics. So you can see that this is kind of the foundations for that YouTube influencer marketing. It's not just like, oh, well, go out there and create influence. And, you know, it's a little bit more in depth. So movement marketing, 4 strategies for sparking a brand movement. So movement marketing is said as an innovative, and I can't say it, marketing model in which brands tap into existing cultural movements that align with shared values, passions, and goals. The result can be a long-term marketing strategy that will not only allow you to dominate your market share, but just might change the world. So that was my goal, like changing the world, like my snippet of the world, right? Coming into my world, so to speak, as I always say. So there's 4 things. So 1, tap into a cultural movement, a group of people, not the individual, as is done in traditional marketing. So when we combine YouTube marketing with how to start a movement with your message, it becomes such a powerful strategy, right? And so number 2, do not focus on persuading people in the traditional marketing sense. It's about understanding and tapping into what they already believe. So what you already believe. So if you believe that you have a movement inside of you, you have a message to share and you want to use, hopefully you're seeing the benefits, and hopefully some of these tips are helping you out. So number 3, emphasize sharing emphasis of sharing instead of selling. So rather than kind of go buy my stuff, you're sharing. And it says, think of push versus pull marketing and engaging with your audience rather than talking at them, right? So hopefully you're kind of like, oh, Iona, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you do. Number 4, most importantly, stop talking about yourself, your brand, and just join a conversation about anything but your product. So the spiritual awakening is something that was my journey. And so having a conversation about spiritual awakening on the Soul Legacy TV is really important to me. So movement marketing, so this movement marketing action steps, there's 4 action steps. So it says 25 million participants, can't be wrong. So discover what your business is passionate about and identify a cultural movement aligned with your interests and expertise. Number 2, learn everything you can about movement and figure out how you can selflessly add value towards achieving the movement's purpose and taking it to the next level. Love that. Number 3 is evolve by ensuring that your company's culture is internally on board with the movement before promoting it outside your organization, and stop trying to sell your product. Instead, align your brand with furthering the movement's goal. So with the Soul Legacy movement, it's about launching, leading, and leaving your soul legacy, and doing it with ease, grace, and flow, and doing it with the vision of freedom, doing it with the value of freedom, and doing it with the raising your vibration to that highest frequency, which is freedom, right? And love and empowerment and joy. So the fourth thing for the movement marketing action steps is sustain the movement both within and outside your company by continually finding ways to uniquely add value to the movement. Practicing the 80-20 rule, if you haven't heard of that, in which you add 80% of value, or 80% of the time you're adding value, and offer your product and your service and your solution 20% of the time. So hopefully that actually makes sense. All right. So that is what is a movement. And so for the MMMK challenge, let me just go bigger. So I talked about this a little bit. So this is the Movement Marketing Media Kit challenge. It's a live challenge. And so I will be doing it live on the third week in September annually. At 7:30 p.m. at UK time, and then you can have upgrade. You can actually come and ask me questions. We'll have it separate off the YouTube channel in a Zoom room. So I loved doing this, right? And so again, that template for the Movement Marketing Media Kit challenge. This is having YouTube influence on YouTube by creating videos. I say they're YouTube challenges. It's a beautiful, beautiful. I love it. And then that leads to passive income streams. And so I actually I actually became a mastermind member of this group. I'm not on Facebook now, or I am on it, but I'm not on it, if that makes sense. When it became the Meta and they had the Facebook outage, I was like, absolutely, I want to be on YouTube and doing that influencer marketing on there and starting my movement. It didn't really resonate with me any longer. But this group actually grew to over 400,000 members. I don't know how many is in now. When I first joined, it was like 100,000 members. When I became a #1 bestselling author, I posted it in there and everybody was super supportive. So I posted it in here and I said, I'm seeking speakers to feature on my Spiritual Awakening Stories Telechat show and give away. Are you available? This was the 18th of September 2020. And so I had over 147 people saying yes to featuring, but they were not ready. They weren't ready with their movement. They weren't ready with the back end of the business. I can't do an endorsement or like put my name to something that doesn't feel aligned and doesn't feel like it. And don't get me wrong, there were people that were offering value, but just the clear steps of, okay, this is how I want to be an influencer in the space, just really showing up, speaking out, and serving deep. And so I decided, okay, the Telechat show then evolved into the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit for light workers, interviewing soul-guided influencers, therapists, healers, gurus, soul-guided influencers on YouTube. And I thought, oh, this is brilliant. And so this is what I will be doing, sharing the awakening. So I have yet to confirm speakers for that. And you will see it October through to April on the 2 middle Wednesdays of the month, 9 a.m. So this is season 1 coming up, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. UK time. I call it Binge Watch Wednesday. So watch out for that. And again, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see the spiritual teachers, healers, leaders on YouTube today sharing their spiritual awakening story. That conversation was already happening. Many of the speakers that will be on there have already shared their spiritual awakening story, and I've tapped into that. So again, this is YouTube challenges. This is a movement marketing method. And for my YouTube influencers, starting a movement with your message on YouTube, rather than having your audience just watch one video, you can have them watch 7, right? And do a challenge. And so we have the book launch for each season, 7 seasons of the co-author book series, the Soul Legacy Journal, Spiritual Awakening Stories of 365. And so on the 6th of May, every year for 7 years, so starting the 6th of May, 2023, we have the co-author book series. And again, if you want to be part of this movement and you want to create your own book tour, and like I've been #1 bestselling author and I've featured in 3 co-author book series, so I love it. And so I mentioned that I have my spiritual YouTubers from scratch challenge. Again, it's a 5-day fast track movement marketing challenge. There's a free preview, and it's a $55 investment. I do have Q&A for that. So it's self-study, go for it at your own pace, as you heard the testimonials on my book cover. And then October through to April again. So I've scheduled out my year rather than always being on as a YouTube influencer and doing marketing in that way. A lot of people who have that movement inside of them either don't know how to start, and then they start and then they're burnt out and they're like, oh, what do I do? How do I actually sustain this YouTube channel? How do I actually sustain this model? So I teach you how to create passive income streams. And so this is a $55 investment. My students have loved it. When I did the Be Seen on TV challenge, they had theirs, which was $55. Mine was free at first, and it was $5.55, and now it's $55, and it's a self-study. And again, the 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit has an upgrade, which is $22 to get into the Q&A. It was more than that, and I did it for my co-authors, but I'd love to do it for you. So annually, if you have any questions, set the intention to do that YouTube influencer marketing strategy, build it around your area of expertise, and I want to hold you accountable. And this is the upgrade for the challenge. So October through to April, on the first Monday week of the month, Monday to Friday, it's $111 for the self-study challenge if you want to upgrade. And that's what they did on the Be Seen on TV. It was a really nice model, but it was popping up and popping down, and it was Facebook groups, and I wanted to do it on YouTube. So this is how I teach you how to have that influence, but leverage your time, money, and energy. And I've scheduled this out to happen on the 3rd week in September every single year for the next 7 years, right? So this is the content for it, and I just have to have live Q&A. My self-study course with the $55, the 5-day challenge, then all I do is show up for an hour on Monday, an hour on Tuesday, an hour on Wednesday, an hour on Thursday, an hour on Friday. It's $111. You go through at your own pace, and we have that VIP Q&A. And again, I've scheduled that out for the next 7 years. I love it. And also that the Q&A is also for my 12-week boot camp. So if you do have a spiritual awakening story to share, and you want to become a #1 best-selling author, and I'm gifting my students a space in the co-author book series, then you can come and do that as well. I love it. I love the model. The Q&A is for the 5-day challenge and the 12-week bootcamp, and it happens October through to April. So I don't have to be there. When you start a movement with your message, and then you're doing it as a YouTube influencer, you want to endorse your own products, but you also want to be able to reach a larger audience and not be bogged down. So this platform, I use a platform called Thinkific. You can actually become an affiliate, a joint vision partner earner, and earn a commission on the bootcamp. So it's $555, and full pay is $500. I actually split half of that if you want to promote it. So that's a way of doing my YouTube influencer marketing with the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network members and my students, and actually giving back. If you are a student in the bootcamp and you pay full pay, this is the bootcamp, and you pay full pay, one, I'll knock $55 off, and two, you can bring a buddy in, so you can split the cost for $250. Only one will get to be in the co-author book series. We can actually work out a deal for that. But I love it. When I started out and I wanted to do this, and I started out doing the other 2 YouTube channels and doing the interview series, I said, you know, I made a vow when I figured this stuff out, I would share it far, wide, and deep, and I would never let anybody be outpriced on my services. And I'm staying true to my word. So what's the goal for the next 12 months? So again, I'm going to click into Canva. Using the Movement Marketing Media Kit template, you can absolutely have that. If you type into Canva Media Kit, let me go into Canva Media Kit, then the Canva changes all the time, by the way. So if you type in, they're doing better and better every time. If you type into Canva, not Canva, Media Kit, it's going to come up with an influencer media kit. Look, And so there's templates like galore, over 2,253. And so you can do any of them. So people do use them. However, when you don't have a large audience and you're starting from scratch like I was, it then becomes quite overwhelming and you're kind of like, oh, so you don't have to buy one. But if we make this bigger, you'll see that there's about me. So you'll have your bio. I actually teach how to do that. What your followers are, what your followers from the UK reach, etc. Right? And so that's absolutely fine. But if you don't have a big audience, putting like a couple of hundred this and a couple of hundred that is not actually helpful. Collaboration packages, client feedback, testimonials, that's a really great way. Your actual, contact details, how we do add this template. Don't know why. No, let's not do that. Okay, let's not do that. Let's go back. Okay, so you can pull some ideas from others as well and build your media kit. What I am going to do is show you what inspired me to build my media kit and who inspired me to build my media kit, and how we don't just create the one pager, but we actually in that 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit challenge for soul guided influencers, we create a resume of all of the places that you've actually been featured. So these don't really cover that. So there you go. We've seen that. I did screenshot and then I went into Canva for you. And so this media kit is a little bit different. And we're just focusing on YouTube. And when you have your subscribers, you can put how many subscribers you actually have. So this is the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. I've taken it off all of the socials. It's not on Facebook and it's not on LinkedIn anymore. And we have a space for the masterclass video visibility challenge. Be visible and come and connect and collaborate. YouTube subs, the YouTube challenge, the MMMK vision board, YouTube Summit, Soul Guided Instructors and book readers. I love this community. And so it's a new community. We also have a Telegram channel. And welcome to Spaces. It's like a virtual room inside your community. You can use Spaces to organize discussion topics, create groups, encourage your members to ask questions, to share their insights. You can customize Spaces, descriptions by image, and go into settings at the top right. So this is an introduction video of the Movement Marketing Media Kit. This is the Soul Legacy movement and it's dedicated to you. It's a whole document of what I do. I believe in you. And then we have the movement marketing, how you start a movement. I'm going to share that on day one. And then the actual day one, day two, day three videos for you. So this is an introduction into that Movement Marketing Media Kit challenge using YouTube influencer marketing in a way, and then you get to use the template. All right, so you can use that template, use my template if you want to, make a copy. It is a copy instantly, and then switch it out. All right, that is what I've done. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And let me know, introduce yourself, share what your movement is about, share your spiritual awakening story, share all the things. So this is the model that I mentioned, and I'm going to talk about this extensively on the masterclass and in the 1 week to create your movement. So basically aligning your movement and your message with what I call conversations that serve, rather than having a call to action where somebody signs up for something, they purchase something, having a call to conversation. So I use my online calendar, which I use Acuity, to have group conversations. So I have a call to conversation, download my chapter, my free chapter of my book, come and have a conversation on the masterclass live on the last Monday of the month at 3 p.m. UK time. It's the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass and the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge. On top of that, I have a VIP day, which is starting, growing and structuring your YouTube channel with a #1 best-selling book, right? And so I talk about the front end of your spiritual business, your one-page spiritual YouTubers, one-to-many model, live stream and video strategy. So as a YouTube influencer, you want to be thinking about what you're standing for and what you're doing, and actually being structured in terms of showing up, speaking out and serving deep. So you know what your YouTube influencer marketing strategy actually includes, and the benefits of doing that, and who you're influencing, why you're doing what you're doing. And so there's 4 stages. I mentioned them, and I'll really briefly talk about them because I want to go on, and I want to have you come on to day 1. So stage 1 is shared and suggested and shared outreach, social media friends, friends of friends, and friends in groups. And so that is how we built the Spiritual Businesswoman Network to 1.2K in 12 weeks. And how I first did my Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, and I enrolled 32K in 37 days. And I didn't actually finish my 50 days, and I paused the co-author book series. I enrolled it. I didn't make it. I enrolled it through co-author enrollment calls, which were amazing. I have some amazing co-authors that are going to feature in the Soul Legacy Journal, Spiritual Awakening Stories of 365. So you can create your movement, yes, with YouTube videos and live stream. You can live stream out on the different socials. And then the second stage, and it's free, and it's a way to test your movement, test your message before you actually put it out there. And the second stage is targeted outreach, JV interviews, as an author and an authority platform. So you're building that author platform, as it said, when you have that movement, and how to start a movement is building that platform, getting featured on interviews, YouTube, podcast, TV, putting articles out there, collabs. And I don't mean all at once. I mean, when I share on the Movement Marketing Media Kit Challenge, that 1 week to get your movement media kit ready, I share how you can use YouTube and that YouTube influencer marketing strategy to repurpose everything that you're doing, create a YouTube podcast, strip out the audio and create a podcast, strip out, have it transcribed in like a few minutes, and create an article. It's really beautiful. When I look back on my recordings when I first did this with my co-authors in the room and my co-producer at the time, people said, oh my God, one of the biggest takeaways they've got was the amount of leverage that I actually have for you. So it's not about creating articles in isolation. It's doing it, or creating, like, just being on all of the socials. YouTube ads is a beautiful way to automate your business model. Once you know who you're speaking to, you can use the YouTube influencer marketing strategy to retarget your audience. People are searching for you on YouTube. I share more about this in the 5-day challenge, so I won't go into that, and in my book. And then YouTube videos. So you've got paid outreach and organic outreach. People think that you start a YouTube influencer marketing strategy with just doing videos like this one. You don't. I'm doing this live because I like to do live. And I hadn't even looked to see, is anybody on there? Is anybody looking? But when you do have a bigger audience, then you can engage, and I love engaging, and I love doing my masterclass like that. However, just creating a YouTube video, you can do it live stream, and then it's there rather than recording it, then uploading it, and there's a lot of space that's used on your devices if you do that. And then again, the call to conversation, a one-to-many invite, not a one-on-one. Yes, you can do sessions, and I do suggest, I have the 50 breakthrough sessions that serve, if you are new, actually generating that money with and building your area of expertise so you can position yourself as an authority and an author. However, you want to build a business model behind your YouTube influencer marketing strategy and behind your movement, and know how to start your movement, because when it starts to get momentum, then you want to have that call to conversation and work in groups and have passive income streams. The next one, that's the front end of your business. The enrollment spot is the 3rd phase. So you've got 4 stages and you've got 3 phases. So this is the first phase, this is the 2nd phase, and this is the 3rd phase. So the front end is your first phase, the enrollment spot is your 2nd phase, and the back end. There are a lot of YouTubers, especially spiritual YouTubers, that do not begin with the end in mind, kind of get a bit pushed and pulled. You'll hear YouTube influencers sharing their story and saying, I've changed, and I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while, all the things, right? But if you start with your enrollment spot in mind, you'll know how to build your YouTube influencer marketing strategy and how to start a movement with your message. And so I live stream a video strategy, so a free 7-day video lifestyle challenge, so movement marketing. I have again the financial freedom vision board challenge for families. For it's a 7-day challenge for spiritual YouTubers to create that financial freedom, but also contribution freedom and health freedom and emotional freedom and environmental freedom and relationship freedom and spiritual freedom and financial freedom. I call it intentional living. The intentional living codes to chase the financial freedom frequency. We're raising our vibration to the level of that we want to witness in the world. So that's my movement, right? So there's a 7-day challenge, there's a live stream. I've got daily live streams where I use my daily journal to actually create that vision with you and go through that spiritual awakening, spiritual alchemy, and spiritual ascension process with you on a daily basis. And I want to be completely transparent. When life gets in the way or life is happening, I'm then not live, and I'm okay with that. So currently I am in a phase where my light work, I say leveraging your light work and your lifestyle. My light work is focused more so on my lifestyle than on my light work. And so we've got a free video. That's my live masterclass. You have a 48-hour replay. If you are in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and you get the bonuses, then you have that more. And it's automated, and I have ethical bribes and bonuses. You might have just seen that. And so let me go to the Soul Legacy Academy. So that is here. And this is where you get into the Spiritual YouTubers Network. So you can join the monthly call. All right, we've got a monthly Zoom call for soul guided influencers. This is our lead soul guided instructor, Robin Knott. Robin actually has, if I click onto Robin's channel, Robin's calendar as well, Robin has the self-love movement, right? So having a movement inside of you, right? Robin has the 7-day chakra healing challenge, and she's about to do next week to do the chakra, well, so the 4th week in September annually, the 7-day chakra energy healing challenge, 1 week to unblock your chakras. And so Robin has a collective energy clearing call on a monthly basis for her soul tribe. And she also has a 5-day money blocks clearing challenge, a self-study, a self-love journey to financial freedom for empaths and light workers. So that's Robin's healing school. There's me doing a testimonial for Robin as well. So Robin has her movement, right? Collective energy healing call, upgrade. So this model that I've been teaching is used by my students and used by Robin. Robin's been amazing to support me in my movement, to support us. And she's actually put the Soul Legacy movement, and she's actually put my son's much loved. I didn't know that. Thank you, Robin. Part of creating a movement. Oh no, it's me that's done that. I was going to say, oh, Robin's done that. I'm like, oh, hang on, let me just click back on Robin's. Didn't think, I was like, oh wow, hang on, so let me just see where Robin's is. So Robin's done, so Robin's movement is dedicated to her brother Michael. No, so Robin's energy healing school and the energy healing YouTube podcast, I was like, oh my gosh. So that dedicated to my son. So this is the monthly call. Every single month we have the Spiritual Biz YouTubers network. I paused it and I'm really restarting that. So I'd love to actually have you on the call. It's a really powerful call. Let me see. Okay, hang on. So we have the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. We have the masterclass where you have bonuses. I'm going to share with you how speaking via video, saving via video, and signing up via video. And the bonus is start a movement with your message from scratch on YouTube and bank 50K in 50 days. That's a cheat sheet. E-workbook, 3 steps, 3-step one-to-many, high-paying YouTube Soul Tribe income attraction model. And the 1-page plan, bank 50K in 50 days, download. So that 1-page Spiritual YouTubers one-to-many model, I call it a high-paying soul client funnel formula. So you'll be able to click into there and grab that. All right. So let me see if I've almost finished. I believe and then on the back end of your business, you see my 5-day challenge. It's $55. That's a self-study challenge based around my book. 12-week self-paced program step by step, $555. And then we have the 12-month mastermind, the office hours, and the retreat. So if you come onto the masterclass and you come on to, let me see, if you come onto the masterclass, then you'll get access not only to the masterclass, but you'll also get access to a free chapter VIP day, how to start and build and grow a successful online business and #1 best-selling book launch with me, and use the coupon code live masterclass, and I will coach you even more. And I love it. I love it. I love being able to be in service. And these are some of the things that we will be covering. So that's my movement. And I'll talk about the mastermind. You'll be able to come into the mastermind if it resonates with you. I'm looking for 9 members of the mastermind per month, and that is it. So again, that's the masterclass. The Bank 50K in 50 days challenge is the Soul Income Game. And again, leveraging your light work and lifestyle on YouTube, raising your vibrational frequency. And I talk about this on my 7 Freedoms challenge on the YouTube channel. I have the 5-day challenge on my YouTube channel, and I have my book launch videos, and this will be one of those book launch videos. And the beautiful thing is I launched my book to #1 best-selling status, did my masterclass, which I do live. And then the things that I actually want to share in my book, I don't have to actually create videos around them. My YouTube marketing influencer strategy, you can see what's on my YouTube channel, but it doesn't mean to say I have to create all of things all at once. And so I'm going to talk about being a spiritual business owner versus a soul-guided influencer in my book. I'm going to talk about the prosperity line versus the poverty line, living in poverty. A prosperity consciousness versus a poverty consciousness, giving and receiving, the energy of that, and the soul path of least resistance, video visibility. So that is what I'm going to share in the book. That is what I share in the model. Hopefully this has helped you with seeing that YouTube influencer marketing can go above and beyond anything that anybody's actually taught you out there. So again, Monday, I'm going to talk about once annually on the 3rd week in September. And again, you'll see the playlist. As you're watching this, you'll see the playlist, and you'll see down below and then in the pinned comments, the playlist for this challenge. So I have teachings and tasks for you. And you do have homework, right? So I go into a lot of depth of giving you training. And this was for my co-authors. This was taking out the Soul Legacy Academy, and I wanted to put it on the YouTube channel because I want to support you in creating a movement and actually aligning that. And so hopefully this was helpful. I am going to actually do day 1 after this. So join me, and I shall speak to you soon. This is Iona Meade, your soul sister, signing off. I shall see you soon. Take care. Big love.